If you're studying business, you know that a great idea is just the beginning. Building a truly successful company, well, that requires a rock solid foundation. Today, we're going to break down the four essential pillars that every great enterprise stands on. Think of this as your framework for success.
So let's ask the big question right up front. What's the secret sauce? What separates a business that actually takes off from one that just fizzles out? Well, the answer isn't some kind of magic. It's structure. It's about mastering a set of fundamental practices that turn a vision into a real, sustainable, and profitable company.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to walk through these four pillars one by one. We'll start with the entrepreneur's vision, then move to building your moat, then the art of execution, and we'll wrap it all up with understanding value. So let's dive right in with that first one, the vision. First up, pillar one, the entrepreneur's vision. Every single great business starts with a belief. And usually it's a belief that's so strong, so different from what everyone else thinks, that from the outside looking in, it can honestly look a little delusional. Now, when we use this word delusional, let's be really clear. We're not talking about losing touch with reality. We're talking about having such a deep, unshakable belief in what you're doing that you can see the huge potential, even when you've only got like 50 followers. It's the engine that keeps you pushing forward, celebrating every tiny win, because you know it's a step toward that massive vision. That kind of self-belief is absolutely essential, but it's not enough by itself. A vision without a process is really just a daydream. You have to have a structured way to make sure that delusion of yours is actually solving a real problem for real people. And that structured process? It's called design thinking. And here's the genius of it. Most products don't fail because they're poorly built. They fail because they're solving the wrong problem. This 5-step framework forces you to start with empathy. Really deeply understanding your user's world before you ever even start thinking about solutions. So, when you get to those last couple steps of design thinking, prototyping and testing, it often leads to this, the minimum viable product, or MVP. The whole goal here is to learn the absolute most you can with the least amount of effort. And the classic example is Dropbox. They didn't spend months building a complicated product. Nope, they just made a simple 3-minute video explaining what it would do. The result? 75,000 people signed up overnight. Now that is how you validate a vision. Okay, so you've got a vision and you've proven people want it. Now what? Well, now you've got to protect it. And that brings us to pillar 2, building your moat. This is all about strategy, about creating a long-term defensible advantage that keeps competitors at bay. So what does a moat actually look like in the real world? Well, it could be a powerful brand. Think about how people trust Apple before they even see the new iPhone. It could be economies of scale, where you're so big you can operate way more cheaply than anyone else. It could be cost leadership, like Amazon's absolute obsession with lower prices. Or it could be something like network effects, where a product like Instagram becomes more and more valuable to you as more of your friends join. The more people on it, the better it is. This quote from Jeff Bezos just nails it. It perfectly captures the power of building your entire moat on a single, undeniable customer truth. He built Amazon's strategy around cost leadership because he knew that no matter what else changed in the world, people would always want lower prices. Talk about a powerful and durable foundation for a business. And that brings us to pillar 3, the art of execution. You can have the most incredible vision and the most brilliant strategy on paper, but if you can't actually make it happen, it's all completely worthless. This is where the theory stops and the real work begins. A huge part of execution comes down to leadership. And there is such a critical difference between being a manager and being a coach. A manager, they focus on output, on tasks. A coach, on the other hand, is focused on developing their people, on guiding them toward their goals. If you want truly world-class execution, you need leaders who are coaches, always driving improvement, not just, maintaining the status quo. Here's another really powerful tool for execution. It's this idea of fresh eyes. It's where you intentionally step back and audit your own company from the inside out, almost like you're a consultant seeing it for the very first time. It's an amazing way to spot all the weird, inefficient processes and the missed opportunities that you've just gotten used to over time. And if you really want to understand the kind of sheer discipline that top-tier execution demands, just think about this number. During a product launch that pulled in over $100 million in just 3 days, the team spent 33 of those 72 hours live streaming, That's almost half the entire time. That is a relentless, almost fanatical commitment to making it happen.
All right, on to our final pillar, understanding value. Now, this one requires a totally different way of thinking. It's about learning to see a business not just as someone running it, but as an intelligent investor would. It's about understanding its true intrinsic worth, completely separate from whatever its price is doing on the stock market day to day.
And to do that, you have to get this critical distinction from the father of value investing himself, Benjamin Graham. An investment is based on deep analysis and promises safety. Anything else? Well, it's just speculation. As Graham famously put it, investors make money for themselves, speculators make money for their brokers.
So, how does an investor guarantee that safety? It's through this beautifully simple but profound principle, the margin of safety. All it means is you buy something for way less than your analysis says it's actually worth. That discount acts like a huge cushion, a buffer against bad luck, mistakes in your math, or just the crazy swings of the economy. The future is always uncertain, right? Well, a margin of safety makes that uncertainty manageable. And this brings us to Graham's most famous metaphor, Mr. Market. Just imagine the stock market is this moody business partner you have. Every day, he shows up and offers to either buy your shares or sell you his. Some days he's ecstatic and names a ridiculously high price. Other days he's totally panicked and offers you a foolishly low one. The key is, an intelligent investor uses Mr. Market's mood swings to their advantage, but is never, ever influenced by them.
Now, calculating that true value isn't just guesswork. For any of you heading into finance, you're going to live and breathe these core methods. A discounted cash flow, or DCF, projects a company's future cash and brings it back to today's value. Comparable company analysis values a business by seeing what similar public companies are worth. And precedent transactions looks at what people have actually paid for similar companies recently. They're all just tools to find that rational value, so you know when Mr. Market is offering you a bargain. So, there you have it, the 4 pillars. It all kicks off with a powerful vision. You protect that vision with a defensible strategy, you bring it all to life through disciplined execution, and you guide the whole thing with a rational understanding of its true value. You need every single one of these to build something that truly lasts. And that leaves us with one last question for you to think about as you look at the businesses all around you. In our crazy, fast-paced world today, which of these 4 pillars do you think gets forgotten or overlooked the most? The answer to that question, it might just tell you where the biggest opportunities and the biggest risks are hiding. Thanks for tuning in.